Hello YouTube. I know I'm about a year late to the Ken Ham Bill 9 debate, but I'm relaunching my channel now to go over some skeptic/atheist ideas. It's the kind of subject matter I plan on covering in my next series of videos, and I happen to think that these 22 questions will be a great way to introduce the way I think when faced with apologists or people of faith. So without further ado, yes, Bill Nye is influencing children's minds in a positive way. He is endeavoring to his fullest to make sure that children of the future will be scientifically literate and not stuck in the Bronze Age like you are. We are no more scared of your God than we are of Frankenstein, Godzilla, or the Grinch. That's the cool thing about fiction. It's not real. You know what we do fear? We fear those who fear their God. Fundamentalists, often called extremists, are really fucking scary. Yes, that is completely illogical and not supported by any of the mountains of our biological, geological, chemical, physical, or astrophysical research. No, the second law of thermodynamics does not disprove evolution, and I'm really sick of apologists trying to contend it does. The second law of thermodynamics states that in a closed system, which is a system with no external energy coming into, the system will tend towards entropy, which is essentially the maximum level of disorder. But there's a big problem here. Living organisms are not closed systems. We are constantly getting external sources of energy. Even in a closed system, the second law does not necessarily prohibit order from ever forming. It just tends, eventually, towards chaos. It honestly has nothing to do with evolution. I love how apologists are so skeptical of science when it opposes their worldview, but jump for the opportunity to use it when they think it supports their worldview. It's like this subliminal admission that science is the most powerful tool available to us for understanding the natural world, but only when it supports your own worldview. You are inadvertently using confirmation bias by accepting science when it supports what you think you already know. Unfortunately, when apologists try to use thermodynamics, namely the second law as an entropy, as proof against evolution, they are unapologetically revealing they understand neither evolution nor thermodynamics. Yes, I'm going to pick the low-hanging fruit and point out that you used the incorrect version of there for your question, mostly because this is an absurdly stupid question. So stupid that I can answer it with 2 words. Earth's rotation. You could have got that answer from a 6th grader, for fuck's sake. I already discussed the laws of thermodynamics with evolution, but why are you contending that a universe is a closed system? And how do you know that it's not tending towards entropy if it is? Perhaps most importantly, how can you contend that the universe is a closed system, thus supposedly debunking the Big Bang Theory with thermodynamics, when you clearly believe that it's not a closed system? You believe that there is an all-powerful wizard that exists beyond the universe, constantly manipulating it, capable of creating matter from nothing. By your worldview, the universe is not a closed system, and again makes the second law of thermodynamics inapplicable to your contention. This is a vague, open-ended question that doesn't seem to address evolution or anything else Bill Nye discussed. Before dismissing this question as irrelevant, I will state that noetics has no support in the scientific community and, as far as I know, is not a Christian talking point either. It's like this question was a distraction, as if asked purely to try to misdirect our criticism from creationism to noetics. Maybe another day. Who says there has to be objective meaning in life? And what does life's meaning have to do with evolution or the Big Bang? I'm quite confident most intellectuals will contend that there is no objective meaning in life. Pick a meaning that suits you. Also, if Christianity offers such objective meaning, then why are there dozens of major Christian denominations? If your own faith cannot agree upon its own supposedly objective meaning, how do you expect other faiths or people without faith to find such things? For starters, I would like to point out that neither the theory of evolution nor the Big Bang tries to explain the origin of life, that is, abiogenesis. That's something we're still working on, and no, that does not make therefore God a viable substitute whilst we continue our search for the truth. That's not how the truth works. You don't just fill it with something that makes you feel fuzzy while waiting for a more substantiated answer. And what's so troublesome about the fact that things happen by chance? Think about how huge the universe is, and think about how old it is. It is so old and so unfathomably immense that even very unlikely things become viable possibilities in the scope of our cosmos. And I believe I'm irresistibly sexy and could charm any person I wanted with a single wink. Therefore, it must be true. But for real, nobody cares what you believe. Reality as it happens does not manipulate itself based on what you want it to be. Another question where there is used incorrectly. No matter. Where did you even come up with this notion? I don't know a single atheist, skeptic, or scientist who believes that life was created by aliens. That doesn't even make sense, assuming that aliens are themselves life. Many of us embrace the likelihood of there being the existence of life on other planets in other solar systems, again thanks to the sheer immensity of the universe, but this is not what your question suggests. While we don't embrace the Bible as a valid source of anything is because virtually none of its claims can be proven, and many of its claims cannot be tested. Anything that we cannot rigorously test, or that which we can but fails to hold water after our scrutiny, is disregarded as a fable or a myth, and many of the claims that it did make have been thoroughly debunked in our observation, such as the Great Flood, the Age of the Earth, or geocentrism.